All right, we're going to go ahead and get started, and we're going to talk about parabolic equations today, which means equations of parabolas. So your parabolas, it should be your second set of notes. Your parabolas are the U-shaped graphs, your quadratics. Okay, we're going to do not only ones that open up and down, but ones that open left and right. We'll eventually get to the left and right. We're only focused on up and down. They're pretty much exactly the same. Tomorrow you will have a work day. We will not have a Zoom tomorrow, a live Zoom. Got it? Y'all good? All right. You guys in here, I'm not going to be here tomorrow, so you're just going to Miss Burke cartoon. Okay. So you're just going to work in there. When you're done, you're done. Okay. Is everybody good? All right. So parabolic equations in vertex form notes. We're just going to work the same thing that we did yesterday. We're going to do today. We're going to change this into vertex form so that you guys can pull out the vertex and see the transformations. And then, like I said, you'll just keep doing the same thing. The only difference is yesterday we had to complete the square twice. Today we just have to do it once. Okay, so it's a little bit shorter than yesterday. So the difference is I'm going to start with number 3. I'm going to start with number 3. Okay, I'll come back to the other two. They're not any different. Just these are a little bit easier. All right. The way that we're going to do that is exactly how we did yesterday. Yesterday we were equal to another number. Today we're equal to y. So we're just going to throw this 13 to the other side by subtracting it. And then we're going to put our blanks, and I always put mine in the front like this. Okay, same thing as yesterday. To fill in the blank, we're going to take the number, divide it by 2, and square it. What is 8 divided by 2 squared? 16. What I do to one side, I have to do to the other. We're going to clean it up. What is 16 minus 13?
3.
And then we're going to rewrite this like we did yesterday. So we do the square root, the sine, and the square root. And we get x minus 4 squared. And then the last thing you need to do is move that 3 over. So we're going to subtract the 3. And our final equation is y equals x minus 4 squared minus 3. We've seen equations that look like this, and we've told our transformations. Do you guys remember transformations? What's your transformation on this one? How did we move? Up, down, left, right?
Right 4, down 3.
Right 4, down 3. That number inside there is actually your vertex. So if they ask you for the vertex, and I'm going to go ahead and start this now. If they ask you to the vertex, you're going to do the same thing. You went right 4 or a positive 4, and we keep negative 3. Remember, we've already done that part. Okay, so it's stuff you already know. The only difference is we didn't know how to put it into vertex form, and I told you like way back that we were going to get to that. So here it is. Okay, so that's the only difference. You already know this. You already know the transformations. You just didn't know how to change it from this form into vertex form. All right, I'm going to do number 5, and then I'll go back and do the other ones. So look at number 5. Same concept. What are we going to do first?
Subtract 23.
Move that 23 to this side. So y minus 23 equals x squared minus 10x. Put your blanks. And again, the only reason I put the blank in the front on that side, you can put it wherever you want to, is because I've already written. So that's the easiest place to put it. Not trying to squeeze it in anywhere. Fill in this blank. 10 divided by 2 squared is
25.
25. What I do to one side, I do to the other. Clean it up. 25 minus 23. So y plus 2 equals square root of the first, the sine, square root of the last. X minus 5, and then put your square on. Last step, move the 2 back to the other side. So I'm going to subtract 2. And I get y equals x minus 5 squared minus 2. What is your vertex and what is your transformation?
Right 5, down 2.
Right 5, down 2. So what's your vertex?
5, negative 2.
Perfect. That's it. Any questions? All right. So I'm actually going to do 1 and then I'm going to drop to 7 because those are pretty much the same numbers. And then we'll do the other ones that have numbers in front. So we haven't, I think we did 1 yesterday that had a number in front. And I told you we'd get to it where we do more. We're about to do that. Okay. So we're going to jump up to 1. What's wrong with 1?
There's a 1/2 of the
Yeah,
x squared.
it's a really crappy fraction right there, right? So don't change the fraction. Don't make it a decimal or anything like that, but we're going to get rid of it. And the way that we can get rid of it is we're just going to multiply everything by whatever the denominator is. So we're going to multiply everything by 2. Okay, so we get 2y equals, we'll have x squared plus 20x plus 110. Just ignore that 2y, do everything exactly the same as you have been, okay? We will not work with that 2y until the very end. So don't treat it any different. What's my first step?
Subtract 110.
Move that 110. So I'm going to do 2y minus 110 equals x squared plus 20x. And then I'm going to add my blanks. In this blank, you're going to do that 20 divided by 2 squared. What's going in there?
100.
It should eliminate those numbers like to really small ones. You shouldn't have big, huge numbers, okay? So you should get something close to this. That's going to kind of narrow it down a little bit. We have 2y. 100 minus 110 is minus 10 equals how do I rewrite? Sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
X plus 10
Perfect. And what do I got to put on the end?
squared.
Squared. Keep working through it. Now we're just going to solve for y. So how do we solve for y? Just like we did before, we're going to add that 10 over. And then this is where the y comes back in. We're going to divide by 2. We're going to divide everything by 2. And I'm going to squeeze this answer in here. Y equals, instead of making x plus 10 squared over 2, we're going to make it 1/2 x plus 10 squared, and then plus 5. Okay, so just pull that 1/2 out in the beginning, but everything else should look just like this. All right, so the reason that I do it this way, you can do it another way as well. You can take out the 1/2 if you want to, but a lot of times when I try to explain taking out 1/2, you guys try to divide it, and what you're actually trying to do is multiply it. So it's really, really weird, okay? So make sure this is probably the easiest way to do it, but if you do it a different way and it works, then go ahead and keep that. All right, so look at the next one. Look at the next one. So, sorry, number 7. Remember I told you I was going to the fractions. Number 7. What do I do on this one? I want to multiply by 4. Can I multiply by anything else? Why would you do -4? So I don't have a negative leading. So anytime there's a negative leading, that's why I didn't go to number 2. If I have a negative leading, I want to get out of that. So we're going to do completely by -4. Okay, distribute that -4 in. It's going to give you -4y equals a positive x squared, a positive 4x, and a positive 44. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger since I'm writing kind of small. Sorry, y'all. Is everybody good? Y'all can see it, right? Okay. What do I do now? Move that 44 over. So I get -4y. I'm going to subtract 44 equals x squared plus 4x. Throw my blanks in. In this line, take the middle, divide it by 2 squared. What do I get?
4.
4. What I do to one side, I do to the other. We're going to clean it up. I get negative 4y minus 40 equals x plus 2 squared. Is everybody okay? Move your 40. So I get negative 4y equals x plus 2 squared plus 40. And then what's my last step?
Divide by negative 4.
Get the y by itself by dividing by negative 4. And I get y equals, instead of writing it as x plus 2 squared over negative 4, I'm going to pull out a negative 1/4. X plus 2 squared, and then minus 10. What does that 1/4 out front do? So she asked, would the 1/4 do anything to the vertex? Yes, no, what does it do? We should know, but it's a great question.
Reflect over the x.
What does this do? No, yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, because the subtraction, what does the subtraction do? It reflects, not makes it smaller, but makes it
Smaller.
not smaller. So what shape is this graph? It's a U shape, right? So what do you think that 1/4 does to that U shape?
Makes it narrower.
Not narrower, but it squishes it down. You see what I'm saying? So it makes it fatter. Fractions make it fatter. Anything less than 1 is going to make it fat. What's the negative do? Yeah, so whoever said flips it over the x, you're absolutely right. Remember that reflects x. So we already knew what those did. So in the beginning, the one we did up front, number 1, it's also 1/2. It will not be flipped because it's positive, but it is going to be fatter than the original. Your vertex is exactly the same as it always is, regardless of that number. So your vertex would be negative 2, negative 10. Great question. That was a good review. Everybody good? Perfect. All right. Let's go ahead and do number 9 while we're down here. All right. So this is how I do it. And people teach it a little bit different, but to me, this is the easiest way to do it. Okay. So bear with me for a minute. I'm going to actually go to a different sheet of paper so I make sure I'm not squishing it up like I did on the last couple, only because it's important. There's not a lot of room on this one. So y equals 3x squared minus 36x plus 108. All right, so on the fractions, I try to get rid of them in the very beginning. When we have a number in front, I don't try to get rid of it in the beginning. I try to get rid of it on the second step. Okay, so what's our normal first step? What's the first thing that we do? Move that 108. So I have y minus 108 equals 3x squared minus 36x. The reason that I do that is that last number hardly ever is a multiple of whatever your first number is. So like I can't pull a 3 out of 108. Sometimes it's not like that. So then it gets a little confusing with fractions and decimals and craziness. So I just go ahead and get it out of the way, and then I start working with these. These have a GCF of what? 3. We want that 3 gone so that I can complete the square. I just want x squared. So I'm going to leave it y minus 108. I'm going to pull the 3 out. That leaves me with x squared minus 12x. And then I'm going to put my blank inside of parentheses. And then I'm going to put a blank in the front, just like normal. Do not worry about that 3 that I pulled out. Do your completing the square like normal. 12 divided by 2 squared. What is that? 36. Now listen to me carefully. What I do to one side, I have to do to the other. What did I do to this side first?
You took out a 3.
3. I got to put that 3 back in. So what we're actually putting over here is what I took out times what I put in. So think about distributing this back in. What would I need to do? I actually did 3 times 36 on this side rather than just 36. So that's the weird part. Okay, that's the only difference in doing this work. That's it. So 3 times 36 is, say it again. I'm going to rewrite it, square root, sine square root, which gives me x minus 6 squared. These happen to cancel out. That's not always going to happen. These just happen to. So our final answer is going to be y equals 3 times x minus 6 squared. What's your vertex?
6, 0.
Perfect. What does this number do? What's the 3 do? Makes it skinny. Yep. It's like a little tiny u instead of a big fat u. Everybody got it? That's all. All right. So that's the only difference with that 3. Now, the rest of them that we do, you're going to have to do that the whole time. Okay. You're going to have to do it the whole time. All right. So number 2, what am I going to do? Move the 27. So I'm going to add 27 to the y. It doesn't matter what order you put it in. I know I just moved it. All right. What do I need to do to this side? Take out a -2. So 27 plus y equals -2. Watch those signs. X squared, it'll be plus 8x. And then put your blank. The reason I told you about that, these two numbers should come close to like, it should narrow down your stuff a lot. Or again, it might be divisible by -2, things like that. When you do this, a lot of times you'll forget to multiply, and that'll be a sign. If you get a big, huge number over here, you can be like, oh gosh, I forgot. So that's how I remember, okay? Take your 8, divide it by 2, and square it. What do we get? 16. But what do we put in this blank? -2 times 16, which is -30. It's okay, girl. It is fine. If I had $1 for every time I messed up, y'all wouldn't be a teacher. For sure. I'd be at home. All right. Add them up. -32 plus 27.
-5.
-5 plus y equals, we have -2. I'm going to rewrite square root sine square root x plus 4 squared. What else do I need to do? Last step. Bring the
Add the 5.
Yeah. There's your equation. So yesterday it looked kind of difficult. Today it's a little bit easier. Maybe the more you do it, the better it's going to get, okay? And again, we're going to do it at least 4 more times. All right. What's your vertex on this one? -4, 5. What's your transformation? There are 4 transformations. Flip over x.
Left 4, up 5.
Left 4, up 5. One more. What's the 2 do?
Makes it skinny.
Skinny. That's it. They'll use the words, I always screw it up, stretch or shrink. Those are hard to say back to back. Shrink or stretch. Your shrink is like you're pushing it down and making it fatter. So if you think about a spring, when you push it down, it gets kind of fat. And then a stretch is like pulling it apart. Okay. Y'all getting kicked out left and right. All right, this one. Some crazy numbers, right? All right. Do the same thing. There's big numbers. So I need to move that 1549. If you want to go ahead in this step and take out that -19, I do. Okay. I don't like doing 50,000 steps. I'm pretty lazy when it comes to my work in math. So I want to see it, but I don't want to see it take up all that room. So if you want to go ahead right now and know that I take out a -19, you can do that. 342 divided by -19.
-18.
negative 18x, and then you can put your blanks in. So now we turned it into like a 1-2 liner. And this blank, 18 divided by 2 squared.
81.
81. And this blank, negative 19 times 81. What y'all get?
Negative 1539.
You see what I mean by the number should cancel themselves, pretty much cancel themselves out. I don't want to say cancel themselves out, but you should have a smaller number. So we get y plus 10 equals negative 19, and then clean it up. Square root, sine, square root. X minus 9 squared. Last step. Subtract that 10 over negative 19. X minus 9 squared. Subtract 10. What's your vertex? 9, negative 10. What happens?
Right 9, down 10.
Right 9, down 10. Flips over the x-axis.
Makes it skinnier.
Yeah, not shrink, but stretch. Super skinny, super skinny. Yeah, stretch. It's okay, it's okay. Think about like chewing gum or something like that, or yeah, it's, I hate using that verbiage, but the test does use it, and I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. Because I think, I don't know, I think shrinking it makes it skinny. You know what I'm saying? That's how I think too. But I think about like having a piece of gum, like you stretch it out, it becomes really skinny, and then when you push it down, or like putty or so, slime or whatever. All right. The next one, 3 more, guys. All right, what do I do on this one? Move the 840, so minus 840, and then what do I do? Take out the 17. 238 divided by 17 is 14. So x squared plus 14x, and put in your blanks. First blank, 14 divided by 2 squared.
49.
49.
This blank, 17 times 49.
833.
Again, see how your numbers are really close. If they don't come up really close, you might want to check and make sure that you did that. Are you taking these notes? 833 minus 840. Is negative 7. We have 17 square root x plus 7 squared. Finish it out, add your 7. 17 x plus 7 squared, add your 7. How did this one change? How did it transform?
Stretches.
It does stretch.
Left 7, up 7.
Left 7, up 7. That's it. Guys, that's from the beginning of the year. So if you can remember that, I mean, they do ask a lot of transformations on the final exam. So be ready for that, okay? A lot of completing the square, a lot of transformations. If they ask you for transformations of this guy, you know you got to complete the square to be able to get those transformations, and they will. This is pretty heavy on the EOC. And when I say it's heavy, if your EOC is 32 questions, it might be like 5 or 6 of them. And that, I think that's a lot. That's almost a fourth of it. So it's pretty good. All right, next one. Move your 255 over. What else do you have to do? Take out a negative 16, leaves you with x squared. 128 divided by negative 16 is negative 8x. Put your blanks in. This one, 8 divided by 2 squared.
16.
This one is gonna be 16 times negative 16.
-256.
Perfect. I get y minus 1 equals negative 16 x minus 4 squared. Finish it out, add your 1 to the other side. What's your vertex?
4, 1.
What's your transformation?
Right 4 up 1.
Keep going, something else?
Stretches.
Reflect x and a stretch. Okay, so it's gonna be an upside down skinny one. All right, last one. Last one. What do I do first? Move the 206. You can take out negative 4. 56 divided by 4. 14. Put in your blanks. This blank, 14 divided by 2 squared is 49. This one is going to be 49 times negative 4, which is negative 196. 206 minus 196.
10.
Negative 4, square root, sine, square root, x plus 7 squared. Last step, subtract your 10 over. So negative 4, x plus 7 squared, subtract your 10. That's it. Is everybody okay? So the one yesterday was really crappy, and today, hopefully it's not as bad. Any questions? All right, so in your, those of you that have packets, I'm gonna stop sharing, stop recording for a minute, but don't go anywhere, don't go anywhere. I need to talk to you.